I remember a day 10 or so years ago when I was beating myself up for making a mistake at work. I sat there smacking my head into my hands saying, God, why are you such an idiot? And you are the worst. Suddenly I had a flash of insight. Who was I grading myself against? I wasn't comparing myself to someone else, like a friend or a role model. I wasn't comparing myself to my past self. My reference for comparison was a perfect version of me who existed only in my head. This is something I call the perfect self. This realization shook my world. I had never realized this criterion existed, that I was using it to grade myself, and how outrageously unrealistic my expectations for myself were. The perfect self comes from old happy culture. It's the version of ourselves we think we need to become in order to be happy. It's a shadow silently moving next to us, reminding us of all of the ways that we are failing to measure up. The perfect self does it all, does it perfectly, and does it without breaking a sweat. Imagine there was a job description that summarized the role of the perfect self. Help wanted. In this role, it will be your job to do the following: hide who you are and conform to a norm. Please every person you meet. Achieve world-changing impact by the age of 21. Be beautiful/handsome. Note the ideal hire must be willing to change their appearance as soon as societal beauty standards change. Never stumble, stress, or struggle. Hours 24/7, 365. Pay none. Performance measured on a minute-by-minute basis with real-time feedback offered via an implant in your brain. Apply within. Would you apply for this job? I don't think so. If you got it, how long do you think you would last? How would it affect your well-being? Take a few moments and bring to mind your own perfect self. What do they do every day? What do they look like? What do they own? What have they achieved? What are their relationships like? The clearer your mental picture of your perfect self is, the easier it will be to recognize its presence. Intellectually, we know this perfect self is unattainable, but really knowing that in our bones is different. Deep down, I think a lot of us believe that if we push ourselves more and try a little bit harder and please just one more person, we'll claw our way to perfection and maybe even find a way to stay there. It's a tantalizing prospect. Some days you might feel like you're close to being your perfect self, and it feels so good. You finally figured out life. And then the next day, when you mess up or stumble, you beat yourself up and resolve to push yourself even harder. This is where our self-hatred comes from, because it seems like the only thing standing between you and your perfect self is you. If you could just work a little harder, be more organized, master that productivity technique, build better habits, suppress your feelings, or stop being so difficult or sensitive or emotional or different or whatever, then you could become the perfect self, and you'd finally be happy. Quick peek from my book, New Happy, which is coming out on Tuesday. I can't wait to share it with you.